Hey everybody, I'm Joshua Orro, the Mustang Prince, and welcome to Mustang Prince Orro Reports. Now, for this episode, we're going back to the MCU, and if you may recall, about 4 years ago, during March of 2019, I looked at Carol Danvers' origin movie, Captain Marvel, where she prevented a galactic conflict between two alien civilizations. And I understand that not a lot of people out there like this movie, but personally, I thought it was pretty cool. I thought Carol was an awesome superheroine. I liked that it was set in 1995, which was a time period where me and my sister were still very little, and it was also Stan Lee's second to last cameo in a Marvel movie. Also to note, while she didn't participate in the time heist with the other Avengers, I liked the minor role that Carol played during the beginning of Endgame and during the final battle with Thanos. And a couple years ago, Carol got to appear in the after credits of the Shang-Chi movie. However, just a couple weeks ago, during the Veterans Day weekend, I saw a new movie from the Marvel Cinematic Universe where Carol would team up with two new superheroines whom were both part of a Disney Plus Marvel miniseries. So, let's get started. Released on November 10th, 2023, the movie is The Marvels. Now, on for the plot of the movie. Carol Danvers, aka Captain Marvel, has reclaimed her identity from the tyrannical Kree and has taken revenge on the Supreme Intelligence. But unintended consequences see Carol shouldering the burden of a destabilized universe. When her duties see her to an anomalous wormhole linked to a Kree revolutionary, her powers become entangled with that of a Jersey City fangirl named Kamala Khan, aka Ms. Marvel, and Carol's estranged niece, now Saber astronaut, Captain Monica Rambeau. Together, this unlikely trio must team up and learn to work together to save the universe as the Marvels. So, what are my thoughts on this movie? Well, to me, this was a very entertaining movie in the MCU, and it did manage to help me feel a little better after. Well, I'll explain later. Anyway, let's move on to Mustang notes. The film was written and directed by Nia DaCosta, who also wrote and directed Little Woods and the 2021 Candyman requel. Joining her in writing the screenplay were Megan McDonnell, who wrote for WandaVision and Ms. Marvel, and Elisa Karasik, who wrote for the Loki miniseries. Development on the movie began in January 2020. Second unit filming began in mid-April 2021 in New Jersey, while principal photography began in July 2021 and concluded by mid-May 2022, taking place at Pinewood Studios in Buckinghamshire and Longcross Studios in Surrey, England, as well as in Los Angeles and Tropea, Italy. Also, the film's visual effects were created by Industrial Light and Magic, Rise FX, Rising Sun Pictures, Sony Pictures Imageworks, Trickster, Weta FX, and Wiley Company, while Tara DeMarco served as the visual effects supervisor. Now, it's been a while since I saw the movie in theaters with a few friends, and I'm very grateful that they invited me to see it in order to ease my pain after my grandmother, Joanne Preschel, passed away on November 10th, the same day this movie was released. Anyway, the things that I liked while watching the movie were mostly the fight scenes, like most superhero films, and I thought the parts where the three main heroines switched positions were pretty funny at times. Also, I thought the visuals in outer space were simply breathtaking, just like with the Guardians of the Galaxy films. And not only does this film show the Kree planet of Hala, which was previously seen in Captain Marvel, but it also features some new planets like Tarnax 4, where the Skrulls established a refugee colony, and the musical planet of Aladna, which is located in the Magellanic Galaxy. Plus, I also think the scenes on the Saber space station and Carol's aircraft, the Hoopty, were pretty cool. Also to mention, I thought the funniest but cleverest part of the movie was when the Memory song from Andrew Lloyd Webber's Cats was playing while the Flurkins were eating everybody on the Saber in order to evacuate. Plus, not only is this movie connected to Captain Marvel, WandaVision, and Ms. Marvel, but it's also connected to the recent Disney Plus Marvel miniseries Secret Invasion, which I still have yet to watch though. Anyway, let's move on to the film's cast. Let's start with Carol Danvers, aka Captain Marvel, once again played by Brie Larson, whom was in films like Sleepover, Hoot, Kong Skull Island, and the 10th Fast and Furious movie. During this movie, Carol discovered that her light-based powers have been entangled with those of Kamala Khan and Monica Rambeau, resulting in them switching places whenever they attempt to use them. The trio would come together to confront Dar-Benn, a Kree accuser who was using the powers of the quantum bands to tear open jump points on different planets in order to steal their resources in a plan to restore Hala, which had depleted its natural resources in a civil war left in the wake of Carol Danvers when she destroyed the Supreme Intelligence. To me, while she is a bit workaholic, I think Carol is an awesome superheroine, and I think her role in this movie has given her some slight character development, showing some of the things that she's been doing between 1995 and 2018. Also, I think she's a great mentor to Kamala. Next up is Monica Rambeau, played by Tynonah Parris, whom was in the 2021 Candyman requel, and she'll be in Dashing Through the Snow on Disney Plus this holiday season. Monica is the daughter of Carol's late friend and fellow airwoman Maria, and she's looked up to Carol ever since she was a child. Plus, she's recolored Carol's uniform in the Captain Marvel movie. Years later, not only was Monica a victim of Thanos' snap, but she gained the ability to manipulate all wavelengths of the electromagnetic spectrum after crossing through Wanda Maximoff's hex barrier multiple times. And after the Westview crisis was resolved, Monica was recruited by a Skrull who informed her that Nick Fury wanted her to join Saber. In my opinion, Monica is a very dedicated woman while following in her mother's footsteps. And I think her superpowers are pretty interesting, like her intangibility, which makes her unharmed by almost anything, along with her invisibility and her energy absorption. Plus, I find it interesting that Tynonah Parris did some boxing in order to prepare for the role. The third member of the main Marvel trio is Kamala Khan, aka Ms. Marvel, played by Iman Vellani, marking this as her big screen debut. Kamala is a teenage human mutant from Jersey City who idolizes Carol Danvers, and she wears a magical bangle which used to belong to her great-grandmother, Aisha, and unlocked her ability to harness cosmic energy and create hard-like constructs. Ever since the Ms. Marvel miniseries, I thought Kamala was a really likable character due to her excitable personality, kind of like Spider-Man during Captain America's Civil War, and I think she's pretty relatable due to her being absent-minded, prone to daydreaming, and she has a pretty complicated relationship with her family. Plus, I think Kamala makes a great comic book artist, and I think she, along with Monica and Carol, make an awesome superhero team together. And after Dar-Benn was destroyed, I like that Kamala began using Saber intelligence in order to assemble a team of young superheroes, beginning with Kate Bishop. Also to mention, before I saw the Ms. Marvel miniseries on Disney Plus, I saw Kamala in the Marvel Rising animated series. Next up, we have former S.H.I.E.L.D. agent Nick Fury, played by Samuel L. Jackson, whom was in the Star Wars prequel trilogy, along with Pixar's Incredibles movies, and Paws of Fury, The Legend of Hank. And he'll be voicing in the upcoming Garfield movie next year. Now, to me, it feels really cool to see Nick Fury again on the big screen after 4 years, and during this movie, Fury works with the Skrulls at Saber in low Earth orbit while investigating reports of anomalies from the Universal Neutral Teleportation Network, and he assists the main three trio in their campaign to defeat Dar-Benn. Next up, we have Goose, a Flurkin, and the former pet of Marvel, played by two cats named Nemo and Tango. Now, I still stand by that Goose has got to be the coolest cat-like character I've ever seen in the media, and like Nick Fury, it's really amazing to see her again after 4 years, and like in Captain Marvel, I think Goose steals the whole show for me. Plus, I thought the scene where she had Fleur kittens was absolutely adorable, even though their brain-shaped eggs looked kinda gross. Also to note, when I received my Regal digital collector ticket on November 13th, Goose surprisingly got to appear behind it, and I found it really cute and clever. Another character to talk about is Prince Yan, the charismatic prince of the planet Aladna, played by Park Seo-joon, who I've never heard of before, and I can't find anything memorable he was ever in. Anyway, Yan is also Carol's husband and ally, and to me, I think he's a great martial artist, a skilled swordsman, and I also like that he's bilingual, meaning that he speaks normal English while the rest of his subjects speak in song. Finally, we come to the movie's main antagonist, Dar-Benn, played by Zhao Ashton. Dar-Benn is a Kree warrior scientist turned revolutionary who wields an accuser's hammer, which almost looks like Ronin's, and she's hell-bent on saving the Kree home planet of Hala and exalting her people to their rightful place in the universe. During this film, Dar-Benn discovered a quantum band on MB418, and she tore apart jump points in space to extract natural resources from different planets to restore her home world, targeting Tarnax 4, Aladna, and Earth. To me, while she does seem to care for her people, I think Dar-Benn is easily consumed by her hatred towards Carol, and she doesn't tolerate any alliances with her enemies. Also, I thought the way she created those jump points with the quantum bands almost felt similar to what Xehanort did when he engulfed the land of departure into darkness. And now, let's move on to my final words. Overall, The Marvels was a very entertaining film to come out of the MCU. While the running time may be about 105 minutes, with the amount of thrills and fun it contains, you won't even notice. It has great cinematography, it has fantastic visuals and fight scenes. The teamwork between the main superhero trio is awesome and humorous at times. The villain isn't as menacing as Thanos, Ronan, Kang the Conqueror, or Hela, but she does make a decent opponent. Plus, it was amazing to see Nick Fury and Goose again after 4 years. Also to note, I'm happy to have seen this movie in theaters with a few of my close friends, and I'm glad it did manage to make me feel a little better after losing my grandmother. So, if you folks want to see an amazing superhero film with awesome girl power and a thrilling space adventure, then be sure to check this movie out. And while the film did bomb during its opening weekend, I can feel it in my gut that it'll gain a cult following. And it's making me really excited to see a Young Avengers movie. As for my rating, I'll give The Marvels a 93% out of 100. Well, that's all for now. Be sure to join me on Black Friday weekend where we look at Lilo and Stitch's fourth and final movie, Mustang Power.